Hello everyone, so today I wanted to draw the actress Sophia Lillis. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. I enjoy seeing her in everything that she's in. She's very natural, comes across very intelligent, and if you like what you see, keep watching. Hello everyone. So what I do here is I just sort of try and figure out like the basic dimensions of her face. It doesn't really matter at this point whether it's right or wrong. I'm just kind of figuring out proportions and playing around and trying to capture what I consider like the sort of main aspects to her physique. As you'll probably notice, I did have quite a bit of trouble trying to get the nose to be correct, but do eventually get there. And like I said, it's just a case of playing around, moving things about. Don't be shy of using your eraser. So yeah, here I decided to do a background. It's just a generic little background and I blurred it out. But I thought I'd use the same colour to block her in as a character. And then it was a case of just thinking about the highlights and the shadows, trying to get the sort of light in the correct place and the shadows in the correct place. By using the same colour as the background, I was attempting to put her into the scene. So by using that colour, it seems that she's near it. Now I'm using the mixer brush to blend all the colours together. And I experimented with keeping the line work there, but eventually I just reduced the opacity of the line work. And that's basically it. You just go over it, you just add contrast, so put shadows where you want them. If it's too dark, then add a bit more light and play around with it. And I keep checking the reference, and I suppose like watching it now I can see where I've made like minor mistakes in trying to get her facial features correct. I think that her cheekbone on the far side should be out more. Maybe her eyes should be a bit more recessed. But it's a good practice. It's good fun to put these things together and see what you come out with. As you can see in the top right hand corner, I'm using my Huion RDS 220. I've had that for about 6 months, I reckon, and it's absolutely brilliant for this. Really getting to grips with it and having fun. It was £569, I think, when I got it. It took a couple of weeks to get delivered. I had a little bit of a panic thinking that maybe it wasn't real, but it's turned up and I do absolutely love it. So yeah, I highly recommend it. So if you look it up, it was the Huion RDS 220. So I'm warping her now. So you do that, you press Ctrl-T, and then you can select your layer and play around with it. And up at the very top, you'll have some options to do warping, where you can right click inside the box and play around with the options there. So the whole time that I'm doing this, I'm thinking to myself, what do I want to do with it? How do I want her to look and behave? And obviously you're not finished with a picture until you really have felt like you're finished, like you're at the end. So it's constantly about playing around. If there's something wrong, change it. I frequently have something wrong with my pictures, and sometimes I'll look at the picture after I've finished it and I'll think, that's wrong. But it doesn't happen too often, thankfully, but it does happen. And I always see a picture as a challenge, always see it as fun to work out, try and imagine where the light's hitting, try and imagine where the shadows are hitting, and constantly play around. Yeah, so at this stage I'm aware that she's not quite right, but I'm just sort of trying to get the nose correct and the lighting correct and get the cheekbones done. I'm also very aware at this point, well, maybe not at this point, I'm aware soon that the eyes aren't right. But we all play around, we all watch these videos trying to learn something new. So here's me fixing her eyes. It doesn't take much, just using a little bit of extra effort to have a look and to sort of see where the mistakes are and stuff like that. You're not going to get them all right. Some people are more observant than others. I know that I make several mistakes on this. But that's why we practice, isn't it? So highlights of the lips I find are very good, and just around where the lips are, just trying to sort of not use like a bright white, but just like a sort of lighter pink. Can make all the difference, like around her lips, just kind of making them stand out a bit more. And on this one I sort of felt like I wasn't too bothered about sort of chopping and changing things to try and get things to work. Cutting off the nose, resizing it, doing the same thing with the mouth. You can always use the dropper tool and get the correct colour that's around the area and paint it all back in again. And I think you should. I think you should do that sort of thing because you're practicing, you're testing out stuff, and sometimes, okay, it doesn't work, but sometimes it does, and you learn from it and you make a much better picture for it. So when I start putting in all the highlights and things like that, I use the mixer brush to just blend it in. And then I can take it back or bring it forward. So by taking it back, it's like you've got your highlight, but if it's too bright, you can make it a bit darker, blend that. And if you go too far dark, then you bring a bit more light in and just play around like that until you've got it exactly where you want it to be. But I was using a reference of the actress the whole time. I went onto Pinterest, and sometimes you need that, because sometimes I try and draw a picture from memory and it goes horribly wrong. So now I just sort of smudge around the edges, make it a little bit more dynamic. I just wanted to give it a bit more character than just having her very sort of static on this background. But I do enjoy the colours that I used. I enjoy the fact that I dared to use the colours from behind and incorporate that into the picture. Because I think it worked. I think it was very good practice. And I think I have captured some of the emotion from the photograph. Is it picture perfect? Is it an exact replication of the image? I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments. So here's the finished article. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you've got any suggestions for other artwork I can do, let me know, and I'll see you later. Bye.